want to tell you about some amazing evangelistic resources that we have available. I'd really like them to be out there by the hundreds of thousands, inviting people to come to Christ. And one of the classics that I have seen God use in multiple different countries is Ultimate Questions by the late John Blanchard. Now, he has a number of booklets to deal with Christmas and Easter, but this is the one that I've seen in 60 plus languages all over the world. So I've got English and Spanish here. And so you can get this for cents, pennies, and give it to all your friends. It's a good size to have in your car, in your bag, ready to give out at any time. I've seen God use this mightily all over the world. Another evangelistic resource is by Paul Washer. This goes through the gospel and shows God as holy and our great need as sinners and how he welcomes us. I've seen people do this as a Bible study. We're way over 100,000 copies of this now going out, and we want to invite you to give this to as many people as you can. Again, we have testimonies of people that have read this or have studied this with a friend and have come to Christ. What we also have are two very winsome books by Pastor Jeffrey Thomas. He's a pastor in Aberystwyth for over 50 years. Sinclair Ferguson says that when we present the gospel, we will default to the way that God saved us. And so for me, I was impacted by my sin and God's holiness and the law and my need of a savior and the threat of hell and the fear of God. And so I have to be very careful to not just present the gospel in that way every time. And this is a different way of presenting the gospel. All the same elements are there, but this is a winsomeness. This is a showing people the loveliness and beauty of Christ. Come to me. And so this is a different way to do evangelism with all the same elements that are required. It still goes into people's sin, their need of a savior, their need to be forgiven, their need to come in faith to Christ. But if you have ever listened to Jeff Thomas, you'll know that he's a wonderful preacher. He invites people to the beauty and the loveliness of Christ. And so this really, in two different ways, shows you the free offer of the gospel, that everyone's invited. And in this particular one, it explains how you can live life to the fullest only by following Christ. Not just in this life, of course, but into eternity. These resources are so helpful in spreading the gospel. We need to have an answer for the hope that we have within us. And we can also be greatly helped by trusted resources like these from John Blanchard, Paul Washer, and Jeff Thomas. I encourage you to use these. I encourage you to get these in volume and really do an evangelistic push. Isn't that the most urgent thing we can do right now?